Ghetto Fish 360, what's happening, people? 5 days of Christmas, people, of 2013. Bring on that fat dinner. Cannot wait. Big shout out to Lindsay. I cannot wait. I'm excited. Ooh, I'm going to have a fat belly. Bigger than the fat belly that I have now. Anyway, this is a quick video. Maybe not be quick. There's so much shit to say. About Flowerhorns. And a big shout out to You Can't Kill Me 89. How you doing, fella, on the other side of the water? I hope you have a nice Christmas. And yeah, your Thai silk was beautiful. Like to introduce you, Uggs, aka you mean Ugly. I'm pissed. I can't believe he survived. I had loads of these guys and he's one of them that survived. And my sexy girl Fruitcake. And I got another one in my 7 foot who's a bastard. I just call him bastard because he's just on the beef thing. Yeah, we're going to start with these guys with you. Yeah, you're one of the black markers at the back. Obviously devalues your fish. And you obviously use money. You want a solid blue one for a Thai silk. But what you could breed it with, it's loads of things you could breed it with. It depends if you can actually get them breeding together. Flowerhorns is such a problem fish that I find it really difficult to make them socialise. Like, I've got 2 in there with 2 together at the moment, and they don't bother each other at all, which I'm lucky. But I've got a big one at a friend's house who's called Stuart Pearce, who checked through my videos. It's a fucker. You can't put him with nothing. It'll rip it apart. It will literally destroy it. But yeah, let me give you a quick run over what I know information where these Flowerhorns first started, when they first came from. Basically, these Flowerhorns, when they first started, basically in Malaysia in 1993, in the western nation of the country, they found a fish called a coron, or warship, aka you mean nicknamed warship, and they loved this fish because they had a slightly pronounced kind of forehead and long, like, fins, and this fish was seen as a prize fish. But then in 1994, the introduction of Central American fish was to Malaysia, and that they had the red devil, Midas, Sinspillen, the parrotfish, and all sorts of centrals. But what they did then, they mixed the coron with a Midas or Sinspillen. I think they probably did a bit of both or something between. I'm not sure that much detail about them that way. Then the 5 of them guys, they mixed it with a parrotfish, and in 1994 that was the birth of the Flowerhorn. This is where it all started in Malaysia. Tanaweens, I can't pronounce it. Oh god, no, I ain't gonna try it. I sound like a prat. Yeah, and this is where all these guys started. And what I found out as well, there's 8 main breeds of solid genes that were made back in the 90s that were like the true, like, I don't know, Malaysia. This is where these guys, the Malaysian people, made them, man. And that area, the Asian population that way, made all these banging fish. And the 8 of them, there is King Kong was produced. Amazing fish. Still haven't met one of these guys. Well, I've met one in someone else's tank. I wouldn't mind meeting one in my tank and keeping one. The golden monkey, Camphor, a Sion Suhun, so I can't pronounce that. I think that's a red dragon Flowerhorn, golden base fader, King Camphor, and Camphor Malaya. I can't pronounce that. That's too tongue twisting for me. At one point, saying it a different way is not meant to be said. And Thai silk. And these guys were like the main, like every time I've seen these guys, now these are the main ones. Now the problem, another tip as well, to deal with diseases as well, what I noticed really bad. Now I had Thai silk, I had a King Camphor, and I had a Soon Sun Red Dragon one, yeah. And I had all these guys in a tank together. Now anyone that's had problems with fish and know their diseases and their names, you all know about hole in the head. This thing is such a problem in the fish community because some people do not know what it is and they don't know what they're dealing with, and this thing can wipe your whole tank out without even knowing. I've had fish die with no markings at all, and this little kind of marking above the eye, probably a little tiny one. The fish looking fine one day and then dead. But then some fish are more hardy. I've seen fish before, like my jag, my old boy Gandhi. He had a big fat line. It happens in, like, obviously it eats inside the fish and you get like markings on the outside. But there's one dominant thing that you get with it sometimes is a line down the middle. Now they all get the same kind of line. It's like a, I don't know, Zulu marking or something like that on all of them. But it's like a Zulu disease marking, and they all got the same marking. and it's kind of mental. Now, when I had dealt with this problem last year, is when the 4 horsemen were at my house. Basically, yeah, I had this disease going on for ages, and that was a year when I got short body red Texases. I kept on asking myself, why are these things dying? I had 43 of them. My mate, Sickly Cross 1993, he'll agree with me as well. Another dude, Adrian, he got some of me as well. He's only got 1 left. My mate Pat's only got 1 left, and it all kept on dying so easy with hole in the head. It was just mental, and no matter how much treatment you treat it, and it'd be gone away like for ages. It'd be gone, and then next thing it'll come back. Now I lost most of them short body red Texases, and I kept on thinking, what the fuck's going on? Now going back to the Flowerhorns and going back to the Red Dragon and going back to Thai Silk. Now I had all these guys together in my 7-foot jigger. Then I bought some other types of Flowerhorns that were different names, and I was like, what are these ones? They told me their names, done my research, found out, and then I found an interesting little thing. The ones I found out, the ones I got, and these are the ones that suffered really bad with hole in the head. Like they were just like so easy to get it. It's short bodies, like, and my brain went bing, 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 bing. I'd fire what was going off in my head. I was like, oh my god, I was what that? I'm amazing, am I? I found out that after 1994, and probably after about 10 years and stuff like that, and fish getting across the borders and waters and stuff like that, America start making their own strains of Flowerhorns. Now all these names you see here, these are all made in the United States. These are not made in Malaysia. These are not made by the wonderful Asian population that made these sick fish. These are made by the Americans, and we all know, like, I love you Americans. You Americans are amazing people, but sometimes you do stuff and you don't think about it, and I think this is one of the cases, and I think the same thing that happens with fish and anything you do genetically when you're breeding and crossing. I think what's happened with these guys from here, for being a really strong fish and hardy in a certain sense, and then to making these, they've been watered down too much. They obviously, and they're more, they're not immune to diseases as these guys up the top. And wow, every time I had these guys, I checked them, I had them, hole in the head. The moment you don't do your water and something happens in your water, you'll get hole in the head. And no matter how much hexameter you use, it will always come back. No matter what, if you don't do the water change correctly. There's another thing, people have Flowerhorns and tanks, don't realise Flowerhorns need to have water changed once a week, are guaranteed. Not like some fish, Centrals, you can leave them for a couple of weeks. You know it'd be okay if you've got the right filtration in your tank and stuff, but Flowerhorns need it once a week, they need fresh water. So what's happened with these guys, they've just been watered down too much, the immune system's down, and I rate these guys in the same limelight as a discus. I really, really do, these American strains, because they're really, really prone to getting them. I've had a few of these, I've probably had about 6 of these types, and every single time I've had them, do you know what they died of? Hole in the head. And I do my water change properly, and I just struggle to keep them. And that's when the same thing that I clocked with the short body red Texases. They were watered down so much that their immune system was just dead. You just need it to be perfected. And the problem with these fishes as well, if you do not want your fish not to have their immune system down, is that they're aggressive. And the problem with short body red Texases, at first when I got them, they were shoulder together like a big giant bunch of fry. The moment they start taking territory, they just fucked each other up. It was battle royale in there, and it's the same rule applies with Flowerhorns. Battle royale will immense, no matter what. And I was just like, wow, okay, that's a bit effed up. I was thinking, like, obviously that's why we get all these problems. That's why this disease is coming over so much, because obviously there's a problem in the hobby. But fish are just crossed so much. I think it's kind of okay to make hybrid fish, but note down what you're selling, and note down what genetics they are and what family they come from. So when you do get rid of these fish, you can give people the correct information so they know what they're dealing with. Instead of like one day they go, I don't like this fish no more, I'm going to sell it to the fish shop and get rid of it. And they're going to say, oh, it's a Texas, or they could say something like, it looks like something more like one breed, and it totally ain't that breed. And another person's going to buy that poor fish, breed it with something else, and then they're going to have a problem with just having like F1s, F2s of like hybrids. You're going to have like 75% like a certain breed and another 25%. It would never be a purebred, and that's got to be stopped. I reckon hybrids are cool as long as you label it and make sure you label and you know what it is, and do not mix it with nothing else. And then it's all good to go. If you can sell stuff like that, then it's all gravy. But another note for You Can't Kill Me 89. Oh, I'm talking so long. It's 10 minutes. This is why I do. This is why it's took me so long to do this video. I'm on my group of cichlid hybrids on Facebook, and there's a guy who put a picture up of like a rose queen lookalike something, and they just want to know what it was, my dash or something. And someone wrote down, you can tell if it's fertile by the eyes of its coloration. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Obviously I was being a bit arrogant because I've never heard such information in my life. But the guy, Tank Mate, really knowledgeable guy, really cool guy, turned around and said to me that yeah, if they have white eyes, they have 0% fertile. They can't, they're unfertile. They like fertility is 0%. You're gonna get nothing. If they got yellow eyes, you have 50%. If you have strong, solid red eyes, you have 90 to 100% chance of them being fertile. And I was like, obviously I said to the guy, I was like my ego got in the way, and I was like, obviously I never heard nothing, and I just got to start being that kind of way. But I was like, that sounds like nonsense, dude. At the end of a couple of hours, I had like 6 people ganging up against me, and some people getting upset, and I was like, wow. Obviously I said sorry, said my piece and that, but I already checked on the internet and all that, and I think it's really, obviously it's strong. I think it is true now. The eye colorations, I've done it with breeding my Thai silks before, and I had one that yellow eyes. She's got red eyes. She laid eggs like no one's business. Yellow eye one did his thing. Nothing. All the eggs went fungus. So that's another tip, and that's obviously on all hybrids. My man said, you can tell. I've tried to breed a red Texas male with a parrot with white eyes. Nothing happened. So to the day I get red eye, and then if I see it and I see proof in front of me, it'll work. So my next test will be fruitcake with Stuart Pearce later on date. But yeah, I hope I helped everyone, and also remember these names that you see here. Just note them down, pause your screen, write them down. These are the American strains, if you remember, yeah? And then write these guys down. These are the main ones that you want. I want a King Kong so bad. I need a King Kong in my life. I need to find my Peggy Mitchell. I will get my Peggy Mitchell one day, trust me. But yeah, this is a big shout out to everyone. 12 minutes long. So sorry if I bored you. If you got any information on what I've said and gained, please add any comments below. If you don't take everything in that I've said, that it could be 100% true. It's only information that I've gained myself. So yeah, please comment below, and enough love out to people. And You Can't Kill Me 89. Have a lovely Christmas, my friend, on the other side of the water. Enough love. Garrowfish 360 out.